Monday, February 24, let's draw 3 cards for the energies in play today. First card, and it's the King of Rods, and this is the Morgan Greer deck. The first word that comes to mind with this card is repent. I don't mean to go biblical on you or anything, but he seems like he's just turned around and he wants to return to the past. The word repent literally means to turn around. It doesn't mean to throw yourself to the ground and ask for forgiveness necessarily. It just means that this king is wise enough and has enough vitality in his hands to realize that he's been going in the wrong direction and it's time to retrace his steps and start over, not from the very beginning, but because something is not working. It's time to recalibrate and consider what we're actually doing with this rod in our hands, with this fiery energy, this stored fire. The rod itself is full of life. You can see there are leaves and acorns sprouting from it, but he's walking through a desert. There's nowhere to plant this so that it can generate new growth. Maybe the word I want here is more retreat than repent. It's asking us to look at our lives and see where our efforts have been misdirected, where our life force energy has been placed so that it's not serving us and probably not serving our environment as a whole. We've been distracted perhaps by misinformation, by faulty patterning and narratives, by our conditioning, and our life force energy wants to go where it can find the joy. This is how you know on your path where you're in the right groove, is if what you do gives you that inner sense of joy just kind of erupting from the heart, and you feel like, wow, this is what life was meant to be about. This is why I'm here, whether that's a creative pursuit or a relationship or tending to plants and animals, whatever it is for you, the joy from that is your signal that you're doing the correct thing for your path. But that's where the fire wants to go. And if we've been traveling in the wrong direction, it's time to correct that, to recalibrate our GPS. Let's see what the second card has to say. Second card, moody. It's the 8 of Swords and it's reversed. In the context of the first card, this is telling us that the reason we've been putting our energies in the wrong place or directing them toward the wrong objectives is because we've been mesmerized by something outside of ourselves. The window dressing, the kabuki theater, the people playing roles and trying to convince us of a particular style of reality, and we haven't been using our inner senses, our inner wisdom. So the blindfolded figure in this card is having to use her intuition because the physical senses are being restrained, and that's what gives us better access to truth. We had this theme yesterday as well, the idea that the truth is inside, that we can use our intuition to access that when what we're being shown externally is deliberately obfuscational. 8 can be a card of momentum and forward motion, but you can see that she's immobilized here, even as there's a wind blowing the hair to one side. So there's movement around her while she is going into stillness to try and discern what the truth of the situation is here. So I think it's telling us that we need to shut off the noise. We need to go inside and feel what is really true. Again, where is the joy coming from? Have we been putting our effort into things that don't fit us exactly because we've been told that's the way to do it, or someone else has an agenda that we've been kind of roped into participating with? We can use these swords to cut through that. There's 8 of them. That's a lot. They're all at our disposal the moment we tune in. Don't forget that those blades slice through illusion. They slice through the window dressing in the theater and the propaganda and the narratives we've been sold and the conditioning since birth, so that we can get down to that interiority we talked about. What is your inner truth? Where is it pointing you? The king says, that's probably a more reliable indicator than what we've been sold. And just one more thing about the reversal here. It probably is also telling us to stop over-processing, because the swords don't just cut through illusion, they can also create it if we're not careful. We may be creating the story that's mesmerizing ourselves as well. And it might be time to just kind of step sideways out of that. You can see that she's capable of stepping out through and away from these swords at any time. They are not totally containing her. The choice is always ours. It's always a good idea to look inside, not just for truth, but for the places that we have been lying to ourselves. Okay, final card to round this out, and I get the 6 of Wands, and it is reversed. I should say rods. It's rods in the Morgan Greer deck, not wands, but it's the same suit. We have been putting our energies in the wrong place again. They have been scattered. This horse can't operate in this reversed upside down position, but look how he dominates the card. There is so much energy here, so much potential for forward momentum. The moment we right ourselves, it all comes together. And we saw the same plumage on the knight or the soldier's crown the other day that reminded me of this fire horse energy. So seeing this again, I think it was 2 days ago we had the fire horse. Our energy, again, it's being misdirected. It's being scattered somehow, and it's up to us to figure out what that means if we're truly to stay in alignment with ourselves and serve our authentic sovereignty in the world rather than another agenda or some inner story that doesn't really work that we've been mesmerized by. The card is very balanced. It's very much a present moment card. We're not stuck in this moment. The forward momentum has just been interrupted as we recalibrate. I actually think he's been mesmerized by his own sense of importance in this one. I don't think that this one speaks to an outside influence as much as an inflated ego spectacle as exhibited by this wreath on one of the rods. So this card zeroes in on the idea that this is an inner misdirection. This is an inner story that we have misled ourselves with. And it's time to investigate that. Use our intuition and use those swords of intellectual discernment to find our way out and back onto the right path. So to sum up today's read, the headline here is to reclaim coherence by de-glamorizing the ego's reward loop. King of Rods tells us that maturity means we can notice when our vector is wrong and pivot to the correct direction. This Eight of Swords reversed, our blindfold can come off, the mental cage is revealed as being something negotiable. We just need to be able to see it and realize that I'm not trapped, I've just been telling myself that I am. And then finally, this reversed Six of Rods is telling us that we've been getting in our own way because we've been chasing importance rather than alignment. So that's it for today. Like, follow, and share. See you tomorrow.